I say shalom, shalom to everybody. Shalom to all Israel, far and near. Shabbat shalom to all Israel, to our brothers, sisters, and all praises to the Most High for this day, that we see ourselves in the land of the living. We give the Most High praise and thanks for everything, for His word, for life, and for all the things that He has given us, that we may always give reverence and praise to the Most High for His glorious things that He's doing and the things that He's showing us, the signs and the ending of our captivity in this great so-called land of America, Babylon the Great. Our captivity is finally coming to an end, and the Most High is going to restore and put all things back in order. But before all things are put back into order and restoration, there has to be a final judgment. There has to be a great judgment for the things that have been done to the Most High's creation, to His word, to the earth, and to His people. There has to be a judgment. Okay? In every society or government, when crimes are committed, people are brought to justice for their crimes. Even in American society, when you commit a crime, you have to pay for the crime that you have committed, and you're brought to the justice system. All right? And if you appeal it, you take it to the higher courts, the Supreme Courts. But the Most High and the angel is the highest court of justice that's going to bring everything into judgment and justice. And my topic today is current events, whether it's social, political, or they're also prophetic. That's the question. Events that take place in a society, whether it's socially, politically, in any aspect, economical, is it prophetic? All right, that's the subject matter. Let me read it again. Yeah, current events, whether socially, politically, are they prophetic, or are they just mishaps? That's the question. Are they prophetic, or are they mishaps? All right. So we see a lot of events taking place in society. All right. It's so many events, it's hard to keep up, but you try to keep up with the most relevant one. All right. Now we see what's taking place in Texas, right? Texas is a massive state with a lot of land, and you see Texas is on fire. All right. Texas is on fire. A lot of farmlands, a lot of ranch land is being destroyed. All right. It says millions and millions of acres of land is being destroyed. Now, was this a coincidence, a mishap, that these things are happening? All right? Because you got to remember, the scripture speaks on many things. It speaks of wars, rumors of wars, social events, climatic events, environmental events, political events. The scripture speaks on many different topics of things, but you have to go in the scripture and pull off those things to show. And remember, everything that's being played out today is not new. It happened in kingdoms before us, major kingdoms, in the Egyptian kingdom, in the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Roman Empire. All these events that are being played out today are reoccurring events. It's not new under the sun. And every kingdom, when it's coming to its end of its rulership, it goes through what you call social upheaval, all right? Eternal problems. That's going to lead to what you call civil war. Every kingdom experienced that. When Rome was coming to its end of its rulership, Rome came to internal problems amongst themselves, all right? There was clashing with the different political parties. All right. The two parties had big factions and internal problems. And that helped to contribute to the collapse of it. Then eventually it was collapsed from the external forces. All right. In America, you have a polarization of the Democratic and the Republican Party. And they are at odds against each other. All right. And the major figure that they have now, that the so-called Republican Party are putting their trust into, is a man that they call Donald Trump. All right? And he's getting a lot of spotlight for some reason. All right? Biden and the Democratic Party, they're playing one side. The Republican Party is playing another role. But they're all playing a role to fulfill what? The prophecies of events, upcoming events. All right? And I'm going to try to give you an understanding of that. All right? Because like I said before in many of my classes, which I don't choose none of the political parties. Because me personally, I don't believe we should vote for no political party. We're supposed to put our trust and vote in the Most High. But everybody have their opinions and what they think is beneficial for them, so they choose sides of political parties. I don't agree with the Democratic nor the Republican Party.
Okay.
All right? Trump, I don't agree with him. Okay? Biden, I don't agree with them because all of them are against the Most High. All of their policies and plans are initially against the Most High. All right? Even in the so-called Republican Party, they don't believe in or trust in the Most High. They're against the Most High. Okay? But my perspective on this here, from what I analyze in the prophecies on the events, I know a lot of people might say, how could you say something like that? But from my perspective and seeing the prophecies, Donald Trump will emerge as the president of these United States again. And a lot of people are going to say, you kidding me? You're kidding me. No, you can't say that. But what you have to understand, Donald Trump, I got to say, he's a tyrant, he's an antichrist, and he's evil. And evil has to run its course until it's put down. Okay? What we're living in is one of the most evilest time and most perilous time upon the face of the earth. You understand? We're not living in a time of peace and love and unity. We're living in the time that evil must be manifested. It has to be manifested. Okay? Because we're at the end of our captivity. The children of Israel are at the end of their bondage and captivity in the land of Babylon the Great. So what's going to be the outcome of that? The enemy and the forces that are against the Most High have to come against the people of the Most High. And the Most High is going to show his hand, who are his people, and why are these things being played out. But let me, I want to get a scripture, here. You're going to read for me, Howard, right? I'll read it for myself. Okay, get me Luke 21. We're going to get Luke, the 21st chapter. And we're going to begin from the 8th verse.
Luke 21?
Yeah, Luke 21. And we're going to start from the 8th verse.
Luke 21, verse 8. And he said, take heed that ye be not deceived.
See what Yahushua said? He said, and take heed that you be not deceived. Because the world have been deceived. Lots of our people have been deceived. Okay, a lot of us have been deceived into a lot of things. All right, go ahead.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them.
Go ahead.
But when ye shall hear of wars.
Stop there. When you shall hear of wars. Now, Yahushua was saying this over 2,000 years ago, when you shall hear of wars. But he was also speaking about, at the time when he was speaking, from that point up until the future, even up until this day that I'm speaking. He said, you're going to hear of wars and what?
And commotions.
And commotions. Now, there's going to be, from the time that we knew ourselves, or from the time I was born, I heard of wars. I heard about the Vietnam War. I was alive when that went down. Okay, when you had the conflict in Iraq, the first Desert Storm and the Desert Storm War. Then you had in Afghanistan, when the United States went into Afghanistan, when the United States invaded Panama. All right. So for my lifetime, I have seen those couple of wars. People that lived before me have seen probably World War II, World War I. They saw all these various wars. I only happened to see, like I said, the Vietnam War from the time I was born, the Gulf War, Desert Storm War, all right? When the United States went into Afghanistan, you had conflicts between Iraq and Iran for 8 years with Saddam Hussein. You saw when the United States invaded Panama, all right? And various other wars and commotion around the world. So what the Messiah was saying, you shall hear of wars, and there's more wars to come. They had World War I, World War II, and they said World War III is a pending war, which will take place very soon. All right, so continue reading that, Howard.
Okay. Let's see. Verse 10. Then said he unto them, Nation shall...
read 9 again. I don't think you
again?
finished 9.
Okay,
Yeah.
9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified.
He said, don't be terrified, because a lot of people is terrified. Why are these things happening? Why we just can't have peace?
For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by.
But when he said the end is not by and by, the end was not when he spoke it back then. Okay, when he spoke it back then, it was not the end. That was just the beginning of the sorrows. But now we're in the end. From that time that he spoke that to now, that's over 2,000 years ago. So now we're in the end. This is the end now that he's talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 10. Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence.
And these things are happening right now as we speak. All right, continue.
And fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven.
Okay, and there's going to be great signs from heaven. Go ahead.
20.
So
12.
that's it. So now, these were all events that's going to take place in the earth. Now, I don't know if everybody was up and informed and checking out what they said is supposed to be approaching April 8th. It's supposed to be a solar eclipse. All right? Now, this is supposed to be a major event that's going to take place, that's going to be seen worldwide on April 8th. It's supposed to be a solar eclipse that's going to last for 3 days. All right? Those are major signs and prophetic signs of events of things to come. All right? So let's be aware, let's be sober, and let's watch and see what happens. Now, if you have that event, let's say it's going to happen, where you have 3 days of darkness, do you know what that is going to entail? 3 days of darkness? That's going to create a pandemonium of fear in the hearts of people when this event happens. And that should make you wonder and understand, what is that sign? What is that sign leading up to? What does it mean? All right? Let's go to that. We'll go into that, and we're coming back to a lot of events that's taking place with Trump and the statements that he made, because Trump made some statements, like I said, that it got the whole world uptight and worried. Okay, let's go to the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter. Joel, the 2nd chapter. Joel, the 2nd chapter, and we're going to begin here from the 30th verse.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, they get that. Yeah. Joel 2 and 30.
All right. Let's see it up here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right, take your time. So I'll speak on for a while until you get it. So we go into the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter and the 30th verse. So, 1 second. All right. So, like I was saying, there's a lot of social, political, economical trends that's taking place in the earth worldwide. We see, like I said, also, wow, I forgot about that conflict too. That's taking place over in the Gaza with the so-called Israelis and the Palestinians. All right, that's a major problem too. That's going to lead to a massive conflagration of nations being involved. All right, it's going to trigger a lot of the Arab nations, Iran. It's going to trigger Russia. It's going to trigger China, because as we see today, the whole world is intertwined in what they call a geopolitical spectrum. Everybody is vying and jockeying for geopolitical positioning. All right, everybody needs the resources and the wealth and the energy of the earth to run their society. So America, Israel, the European nations, they all need that technology and that energy to fuel and run their society. Okay? Israel, on the other hand, over there, they're trying to maintain and continue their hegemony in that land against the Palestinians. So they feel the best way to control that land is to have the Palestinian and the people of Hamas subjugated, and they have the total hegemony over that land. And we have to remember, it was 1948 that the United States, Britain, and the UN that put Israel into that land under the Balfour Declaration. And we all know biblical understanding and biblical prophecy. They are not the true biblical descendants. Right?
Where you got that, Joel?
Joel, the 2nd chapter, and the 30th verse. So we're going to read Joel 2 and 30.
Joel 2 and verse 30. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke.
So who's going to show these signs in the earth? The Most High is going to show these signs in the earth. All right. So like I said, April 8th is going to be a major, significant day. All right. What it's saying is going to be a solar eclipse. All right. Continue.
Okay. 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness.
See that?
And
the sun shall be turned into darkness. All right. So when the sun turns into darkness, that's known as an eclipse. All right. Go ahead.
And the moon into blood before the great and the terrible day of the Lord come.
And this is the reason why these things are going to happen, because these are signs to come of the return of the Messiah. The Mashiach is about to make his second return. Okay? A lot of people have been saying this for years, for centuries. The return of Christ. When is he coming? All right? But the Most High has let you know these are the signs to come. All right? From there, go to Ezekiel, the 12th chapter. Because, you know, we have a lot of scoffers and gainsayers up here saying, look, I've been saying for years. I heard from my grandfather, my grandmother, my mother been saying that. I heard people been saying this and I haven't seen it. But I want to share something here, because the Most High said his words are sure and his word is going to stand. Let's go to Ezekiel, the 12th chapter, right?
Ezekiel 12.
Ezekiel 12, I'm going to tell you where to start from. All right, Ezekiel, the 12th chapter. And we're going to begin here from, start from Ezekiel 12:21.
Ezekiel 12, verse 21. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man.
So who's the Son of Man? The Son of Man is Ezekiel the prophet. So that's another term that the Most High calls us, Son of Man. All right, go ahead.
What is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged, and every vision faileth?
Right, and that's what Peter said, man, listen, man, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in my lifetime. Okay? So they're saying the vision faileth and how it's prolonged. Oh, that's going to be way in the future. We don't have to worry about that. Okay, go ahead.
23. Tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel. But say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision.
See, the days are at hand, and every effect of every vision that the Most High showed the prophets, all right, that Christ spoke about, the Messiah spoke about. Continue.
24. For there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering divinations within the house of Israel. For I am the Lord. I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word, and will perform it, saith the Lord power. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come.
That's what a lot of people say, man, you guys believe that stuff, man? That ain't gonna happen, man. That ain't gonna happen in my lifetime, man. That's gonna be happening way down in the future. Come on. Everybody belittle the Most High prophecies and things that he said is supposed to take place. They make mockery of it. They scoff at it. All right? Go ahead.
And he prophesied of the times that are far off.
Yeah, man, that's something that's going to take in the future, man. Don't worry about that. Continue living your lifestyle. All right? Go ahead.
Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, there shall none of my words be prolonged anymore. But the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord power.
It's going to be done, saith the Most High. All right? So from there, let's go to the book of Mark, the 13th chapter. Mark, the 13th chapter. All right, Mark, the 13th chapter. All right, and we're going to begin here from, start from the 17th verse.
Mark 13 and verse 17.
Actually, you know what? Let's start from the 14th verse. Let's start from the 14th verse. Let's go back to when Yahushua was showing what the Roman Empire was going to do to Jerusalem. So Yahushua was showing you the events from the time that he spoke, and the events from them up until this future event. All right? Continue. Mark
13
and 14.
Verse 14. But when he shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand. Then let them that be in Jerusalem flee to the mountains.
See, those that be in Judea flee to the mountains. So this one, the Roman forces, when Titus Vespasian came into Jerusalem and he took down Jerusalem. All right? And when that happened, that's when everybody believed what he was really talking about. But it was too late then. All right? Continue.
And let him that is in the housetop not go down into the house, neither enter therein, to take anything out of his house. And let him that is in the field not turn back again, for to take up his garment.
All right, so he was speaking about events, social events, political events that was going to take place after he died, all right, during his lifetime, after he died, and leading up to the future. All right? So everything in the Bible deals with social events, political events. It deals with all type of events. And mainly when Yahushua walked the earth, he was dealing with a current event with the political factions, the religious factions. All right? When he went before, what's this guy named? Herod, which is a political figure. And when he went before, what's his name? What's the other one? The Roman, what's his name? When he went before him and he said, tell me, art thou the king of the Jews? Pilate. Pilate was what? The governor, the ruler at that time, a political figure.
Khan.
All right? So politics is nothing new. Politics goes way back. The Europeans did not bring politics on the scene. They want you to believe that. Oh, the Greeks brought democracy and politics. Shut up. Okay? Nations were dealing with politics way before the Greeks came on the scene. Or before the European came with his Eurocentric politics. All right? Because what they're using an extension of the politics of the other nations that ruled before the European powers came into rulership.
Khan.
Okay? They're taking some of the Egyptian political spectrum. They're using of the ancient Babylonian political spectrum. They're using from the Assyrians, from the Persians. They're taking all bits and pieces of their political system that they have today from the various ancient kingdoms that ruled before. So don't let them tell you that crap that America and the Greeks were the first that came up with what they call a political way of life or democracy. The Greeks took their ideas from the Persians, okay, and from the Egyptians. Okay, they copied what other nations had before. Okay, so continue.
17. But woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days.
Okay, so he was telling them of the current events that was going to take place when the Romans besieged Jerusalem. They was going to lay siege to the whole entire city.
Khan.
And a lot of us was going to be killed. Okay, the woman was going to be killed. Okay, the young children was going to be killed. The woman that was pregnant is going to catch pure hell. All right, because the men was going to be slaughtered. There wasn't going to be no providers to provide for them. And the Romans was going to take us into slavery. Matter of fact, those that they kill and those that remain, they put us into slavery. Okay, the Romans came and destroyed Jerusalem in 70 AD. All right, that's a known historical fact. When the Romans sacked and besieged Jerusalem, they lay hold of Jerusalem and destroyed the entire city. That's why Yahushua said, there should not be one stone here standing that should not be left upon another. They pulled down the entire remnants of Jerusalem, pulled everything down. Like I showed you last week, the reason why that was done, because when the Romans destroyed Jerusalem and they burned the temple, all the gold that was in the temple, all that gold melted. And all that gold melted between the slab of stones. Okay? So when they burned the temple, all that gold, it was, man, you thought Fort Knox had gold? We had more gold than Fort Knox in that temple. And when the Romans burned that temple, that gold melted and it ran down between the slabs of stones. And when that happened, and when it melted, and the Romans saw it, they went berserk. They said, what? They said, pull every stone down to get all that gold. Because, you know, when you're an army, you need what? Money to support your military. So Titus tells them to rip every stone down, take every stone and get all that gold that melted. And that's what they did. They ripped every stone down from that temple until they found those gold. Okay? Then what the Romans did, they went through the whole city and salted the whole city. So it could be desolate, it can't grow nothing. They put a ruin to Jerusalem, man. Okay? And those of us that remain, that stood at Masada, because there wasn't no food, no water, we were starving. And the Romans besieged that city for 7 years. And those of us that remained in Masada, when there wasn't no other way out to do, what did we do? We committed suicide. All right? Because there wasn't no food, no water. That was the last stronghold that remained in that city called Masada. Okay? And Yahushua told him the Romans was going to besiege Jerusalem. All right? And we're reading about it, what happened. And he's showing you what's going to lead up also into the future times that we're living in. Okay? Continue.
Verse 18. And pray ye that your flight be not in the winter.
So it's coming up now, to these days now. And back then he was saying, pray that your flight be not in the winter. All right? Because there's winter in that land, but not as severe as it is over here in the Western world. Okay? So he's showing you it's leading up to this time that we're living in. All right? Read that verse again.
Okay, verse 18. Pray ye that your flight be not in the winter.
Pray that our flight don't be in the winter. All right? Continue.
Okay, 19. When those days shall be afflictions, such as was not from the beginning of the creation, which the Most High created, until this time, neither shall be.
See what he's telling you? Read that verse again, because peace is not coming into the earth right now.
God.
There's not going to be no peace. Everybody's looking for peace. Oh, why we can't have peace? You're not going to have peace until all these things are fulfilled in the earth.
God.
All right? And that's why I keep saying it. Trump has to be manifested as that evil. As that evil that's going to take that office to bring the evil. He's playing that role. That's his nature. You understand? And a lot of people might disagree with me, but that's my perspective, according from what I see in the biblical understanding, that he is going to be the so-called elected president again.
That's right.
Okay? Not because I love him, I want him to be president, but he's playing a role that has to be fulfilled.
God.
You understand? And we're going to see this as we go closer to the time. We're going to see.
God.
You don't have to take my word, but keep watching the current events. Keep watching the events. All right? Like I showed you before, a rich man, when he's about to fall, he has many friends. And his friends and his loyal supporters will support him. Okay? I read you the scriptures last week. Maybe I have to read it again and show you. When a rich man begins to fall, he has many supporters to back him and to keep him up. Right now, Trump, they say he's in debt, right? He has to pay like $455 million. You think that's a problem? Listen, all his rich constituents, Republicans, the big corporations, they're going to back and support him to make sure he gets back in office. Why? Because they have an agenda to fulfill. I'm going to show you that too. And then you could go home, look at the pieces, look at the events, and check out what I'm saying. Check what I'm saying. All right? A lot of people can't see it because, oh, no, Trump, no, we don't want. But what you have to understand in this society, your votes, when it comes to presidents, I'm going to tell you like this. They play you. The elites are the ones that dictate and decide who goes into office.
That's right.
All right? There's something called an electoral process. Okay? Then you have the hidden elites behind the scene that selects who they want to be in office. You really think this is a democracy that they're telling you? They're telling you it's a democracy to blindside you. But behind the scene is run by the elites. All right? But hold this real quick. Let me come back to this right here. Go to the book of Daniel, the 4th chapter. All right? Daniel, the 4th chapter. Daniel 4, right? And read Daniel the 4th chapter and the 17th verse.
Daniel 4 and verse 17. This matter is by decree of the watcher.
And the watchers are the angels, the holy angels. All right, go ahead.
And the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
What does that mean?
He ruled in the kingdom of men, meaning on the earth through his servants. If I say I find it, say right.
Most High controls who rules and who falls.
That's right. The Most High decides who's going to rule, who's going to be the power, who loses, who wins, who's going to be the final outcome of everything.
God.
In that unseen spiritual realm. Yes, Yahshua.
He's the king over the evil rulership. He's the king over the righteous.
That's right. Over the good and the evil. The Most High sets up the evil and the good for a purpose. All right? The Most High said, I, the Most High, do all these things. I create good and I create evil. Read again, Yahweh.
Okay. Daniel 4 and verse 17. This matter is by decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men.
Right. So the Most High sets up the basis of men. So you could be a low life, a scum, an evil, wicked, a no person, and the Most High could set you up to rule in the kingdom. All right?
That's right.
And the Most High does it for a reason. All world leaders in the ancient world was set up by the Most High. Who you think put Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, to rule? Did he just put himself up there to rule? No, the Most High said, Nebuchadnezzar, you're my servant, and I set you up to rule, to do a job for me. Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. All world leaders. Cyrus, when the Most High used Cyrus, the king of Persia, the Most High chose him and anointed him. He said, you, Cyrus, are going to build my temple in Jerusalem. The Most High used him. Okay? And that was done before any historical data was written. But the Most High had it done through the prophets and through the spiritual realm to be manifested when it came to pass historically.
That's right.
All right? So go back to where we were.
Daniel's
No,
13 and 19. I
no.
mean, Ezekiel.
no.
No. I'm sorry,
Mark.
Mark.
Go back to Mark. Yes. Right, Mark 13, and we left off in what?
19.
19. All right, go. Okay, read 19 again.
Okay. Mark 13 and verse 19. For in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation which the Most High created unto this time, neither shall be.
See what it says? For in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation which the Most High created unto this time, neither shall be. And that goes right back to what? Daniel, the first chapter. Let's go right back to that. Daniel 12 and 1. So Yahushua the Messiah was speaking about these things. And what Daniel spoke, the same thing Daniel said was going to happen in the end times. And the only person today that could come across and fulfill those things is who? The political leader today. The only one that you see that has that mindset or attitude to do those things is who? Teflon Don.
Trump.
Teflon Don. No, Putin is on the other side too. But right here in America, where we are, the only person now politically that has that power to bring about such great affliction is that one called Teflon Don. I call him Teflon Don because he's impervious to the law. No matter what they do against him, he just seems to escape the law.
Gone.
He just go around it. All right? I call him Teflon Don. And you know, Teflon is something that a bullet can't penetrate. All right? And he seemed to be like that Teflon. I'm watching him. I'm watching all the events. Look what look. How many primaries he won so far? He won all the primaries so far. Okay, he won the one in Iowa. He won in New Hampshire. He won South Carolina with Nikki Haley. He won that big time. And they say he might win Michigan too. All right?
He's not even campaigning.
Right. So, like I said, keep watching the events that's taking place. Okay? I don't, let me say this here. Let me put a disclaimer out. I'm not no supporter of Trump. Okay? Teflon Don. I don't give two damns about him. He's a wicked, evil, no peace, a bastard. Okay? But my perspective from biblical understanding, he's going to be the one to fulfill and bring in what you call the mark of the beast system. Okay?
Gone.
He's going to bring in that mark of the beast system where you can't buy, sell, okay, unless you have that mark. And read all the things that he has in play for America. His main go-to statement, MAGA, make America great again. has a very substantial meaning to it. Okay? When he said make America great again, wasn't America great all the time? So why you want to make it great again if it was already great? But it's a hidden meaning behind of that. Okay? I'm not going to say because it might take it off, but let's go to Daniel 12 and 1.
Daniel 12 and verse 1. And at that time, Michael stand up.
Michael shall stand up.
Michael shall stand up. The great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble.
See, there's going to be a time of trouble. We're approaching a time of great trouble. Also, hold it and get Jeremiah 30 and 7. All right, hold that. Go to Jeremiah. Hold Daniel. Go to Jeremiah 30 and 7. It's going to be a time of great trouble.
Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
See, it's even the time of Jacob's trouble. And we are Jacob. Not those people over there. They're not Jacob. And that's what the world going to find out. Go ahead.
But he shall be saved out of it.
But he's going to be saved out of it. We're going to be saved out of this great trouble. All right, go ahead.
For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bands.
Burst our bonds, meaning we're still in captivity as a people. The Most High is going to break our bonds as a people. I mean, so how are we getting captivity? Yes, if you're under another nation rule of government and sovereignty, you're in captivity. If you don't have your own money, your own gold, your own resources, your own political system, your own economical system, you're still captive as a nation of people under another nation. Continue.
And strangers shall no more serve themselves of him.
And that's right. Now go back to the book of Daniel 12 now. Read Daniel 12 and 1 again.
Daniel 12 and verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up.
And that's the time we're living in. We're approaching that time. Go ahead.
The great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble.
A time of trouble. All right, go ahead.
Such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered.
So at the same time while this is happening, thy people shall be delivered. We're going to be delivered from this great destruction and wrath that's coming.
God.
All right, go ahead.
Everyone that shall be found written in the book.
Okay, now go back to Mark 13. And it's the same thing Yahushua the Messiah was speaking about.
All this is done for us.
It's being done for us. But we have to repent. That's what the Most High wants us to repent.
God.
All right? Because what's coming, it's not going to be beautiful, man. Okay? And it takes a certain political figure to be in that position to bring about these things. Okay? It has to be a certain political figure to be in office when these things comes about. All right? Continue reading Mark 13.
Okay, Mark 13 and 19 again. For in those days shall be affliction, which as was not from the beginning of the creation, which the Most High created unto this time, neither shall be. And except that the Lord had shortened those days.
Now what does that mean when it said, and except the Most High shortened those days? What does that mean when he says he's going to shorten the days?
When he shorten the days, that means things have to speed up.
True, that's true.
Because if you don't shorten the days, then there won't be no more flesh left.
Right. And also, what does it also mean he has to shorten those days? What does it also mean? You're right what you said.
Well, right now, let's smile since I can think about it.
Yes.
He's going to cut.
He has to
Esau's
cut the
kingdom
time. He has to
short.
cut the time. The length that they're supposed to bring about what they're going to fulfill, he has to cut that short. Because if he didn't cut it short, man, it won't be no flesh left to save. All right? The rate that they're moving and doing with their AI technology and their science, they have become a bunch of Frankenstein monsters. Okay? The rate that the earth is being destroyed. All right? The Most High has to intervene and cut it short. He can't let it go to the full length.
Putin threatening nuclear bomb.
And Putin is threatening, boy. And everything is falling in line because remember the statement that Trump made a week ago. He told the UN, he said, if you don't pay, I will tell Putin to invade you. That's a major prophetic statement. You understand? I'm going to play that tape too. Why the world leaders are uptight because they know with this event happening, it's going to create a hell of a damn problem, man. Because with Trump in power, he's going to extort those NATO's nations and force them to pay that money. Okay? And they don't want to pay that money to America. And by doing that, he's going to anger those nations. Okay? And the scriptures tells you, when you read that beast in Revelation, the 17th chapter, that beast is NATO. And it tells you that beast is going to hate the whore and burn her with fire. Okay? We're living in a very, very prophetic time.
Con.
And Putin, he ain't backing down. Okay? And if NATO invades Russia, it's on. Okay? Because Ukraine gonna lose that war. And the reason why Putin was going at them easy, who knows why? What's so important about Ukraine? Who knows what's so important about Ukraine? Who knows the history of Ukraine? I'm going to tell you, Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe. Ukraine produces the most wheat and all the sources of food that comes from Europe, Ukraine. So the reason why Putin is not going all out against Ukraine, because he needs some of those resources from Ukraine. As a matter of fact, Ukraine is part of Russia. Okay? But NATO and the other nations in America trying to separate Ukraine from Russia. And Putin is uptight that NATO and the United States trying to put NATO forces in his back door. I would be uptight too.
Con.
Wasn't the United States uptight when Russia was putting missiles in Cuba? The United States was uptight and said, no, you can't do that.
Right. Con.
So Putin don't have the right to be uptight? Yes.
Con.
All right? So all these are all things that's going to clash very soon.
That's right.
Okay? That clash is coming very soon. All right? So finish reading Mark, the 13th chapter.
Okay. 20. And except that the Lord had shortened those days, no flesh shall be saved.
So you see that? So the Most High has to shorten those days. He has to cut their time short from the rate that they're moving and doing things. All right? Go ahead.
But for the elect's sake,
But for the elect's sake, that's the reason why the Most High is doing it. So showing you the Most High have respect for his elect. For the elect's sakes, that's the only reason why the Most High is doing it. Not for nobody else, but for his elect only. Showing you the Most High has great respect for his elect. All right? And we should strive to be in that election too. That's what Yahweh Shai said, strive to enter into the kingdom of heaven, that you be found worthy. All right? Go ahead.
but for the elect's sake, whom he has chosen,
See that? Whom he has chosen. All right? Go ahead.
he had shortened those days.
And he's going to shorten the days. That's the only reason why. All right? Go ahead.
21. And then, if any man shall say to you, lo, here is Christ, or lo, he is there, believe him not.
Don't believe it. Oh, Christ is over here in some building. Christ, don't believe that crap. Oh, he's over here. He's over in the land of Israel. Don't believe that. Oh, he's over there in Europe. He's somewhere down in Texas named David Koresh. Don't believe that crap. All right? Because the Messiah tells you how he's coming back. So you won't be deceived. Continue.
22. For false Christs and false prophets shall arise, and shall show signs and wonders to seduce.
See? And how do you show sign and wonders? How do you show sign and wonders? Peter used to say, oh, God gave me the power to bless you, to heal you, or heal you. Who wake him from the dead? They're going to seduce you, man. They're going to use enticing words, nice, flavor words. Okay? Continue.
If to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect.
See, if it were possible, even the elect, they even seduce you to believe that nonsense.
Con.
All right? Go ahead.
But 23. But take ye heed, behold, I have foretold you all things.
See what Yahweh Shai said? But behold, I have foretold you all things. He told us this before it came to pass or before it happens. Continue.
24. But in those days, after the tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall no more give her light,
Go ahead.
and the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken.
Go ahead.
And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory.
Now, this verse here now, a lot of people when they read this say, but when they read this verse here, say, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. They probably gonna like, what do you mean clouds? They're gonna say, well, wait a minute, nobody can come in no clouds. See, but this is a parable. This is what you call a dark saying. All right? It's a parable that Yahushua was saying. Those clouds represent the angelic vehicles that he's coming in.
That's right.
The chariots. All right? And the way why it was written like that, so that the Bible would not be destroyed and leave out these things. Because remember, the Bible had to be translated by who? By our enemies. See, the enemies doesn't have the spirit that the Most High gave us. So the Most High had it written in parables and dark sayings. But it was meant for us to understand what that means when he said he's coming in the clouds. The clouds represents the chariots, the angelic vehicles that he's coming in. What this word called UFOs. Okay? But it's not UFOs. Those are angelic vehicles that he's coming back in. Okay? And I want to show you two more scriptures. All right? Go to Isaiah 66 and 15 to prove that those clouds are not really clouds, literal clouds. All right?
Isaiah 66.
Isaiah 66 and 15, and also get Isaiah 19 and 1 too.
Okay, Isaiah 66 and verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind.
See, with his chariots. What is his chariots? Those clouds are the chariots. The chariots are the angelic vehicles that he's going to be riding in with the angels. Read that verse again.
Okay. 66, Isaiah 66 verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind.
Like a whirlwind, showing you how it's moving in a centrifugal force, the way the chariots move. All right, go ahead.
To render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword shall the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
And the slain of the Most High shall be many. All right, go to Isaiah 19. And we'll look at those clouds again. Isaiah 19. All right. Isaiah 19 and 1.
Isaiah 19 and verse 1. The burden of Egypt.
See, the burden of Egypt. Okay, this scripture here is twofold. It's speaking about ancient Egypt and this modern day spiritual Egypt, which is America. Right? Read again.
Isaiah 19 and verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud.
See, reading that word cloud again. It says, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud. How do those chariots move? Swiftly. So he's coming upon a swift cloud. All right? Now, loose that. Let's go to the book of Matthews. Let's go to Matthews. It's going to show you the same thing again in Matthews.
Then they show you in the movie The Ten Commandments.
Mm-hmm.
How that is out of Egypt, and the fire, pillar in the back.
Right.
Back the Egyptian army. Angels was in the fire.
All right, Matthews 25. Give me 1 second.
I wish I said it himself. 26 and 64.
Say again.
I wish I said it. Comes out his own words. Matthew 26, 64.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I wish I said it himself.
Give me 1 second. Actually, it's Matthews 24. Yeah, Matthews 24. Okay, Matthews 24. And start from 27.
Matthew 24 and verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west.
And that's how the Messiah is coming back. The lightning is going to shine from the east to the west. All right, go ahead.
So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Mm-hmm.
For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately after the tribulation of those days.
Okay, what is a tribulation? What is tribulation? Terrible time. Chaos, wars, famines, pestilence, upheavals, anarchy. All sorts of things are happening. All right, go ahead.
Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
Mm-hmm.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in the heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven.
See, coming in the clouds of heaven. Not a literal cloud that you see up there. Okay, read on.
With power and great glory.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other.
Okay, now go to the book of Acts. All right, the book of Acts. All right, let's go to Acts, the first chapter. All right, let's start here from start from the 6th verse.
Acts 1 and verse 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
That's a very important question that they're asking. Why did the disciples ask that question?
I say, they asked the question because all what he was telling them, they wanted to know could it happen at that time.
Mm-hmm. And what else? And what else too? Read it again.
Okay. Acts 1 and verse 6. When they therefore came together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, Wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Okay, now, what happened, what transpired at this time? What was happening now? What happened?
Roman chased Israel out of Jerusalem.
Show me what happened then now, specifically.
Yeah, when he made this statement, what happened?
They were under the rulership of Rome.
That's true. All that is true.
Crucifixion had taken place.
Crucifixion had taken place, and he came back to them. So when after he died and rose, and he came back to them and was speaking to them, so now they say, "Okay, you back now? From you rose from the resurrection.
Okay.
Are you going to restore back the kingdom back to us?" That's the question they want to know. They ask a legitimate question. All right, because they're like, you said you coming to restore Israel, bring us back to the land, and all these things. So they want to know, well, is it going to be now that you resurrected? Because remember, the disciples were wise too. They learned from the master. So they had a legitimate question. He said, are you going to restore now the kingdom to Israel now that you have been resurrected? Let's read on and find out what he's going to tell them.
Verse 7. And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the time or the seasons which the Father had put in his own power.
And that's a legitimate question. All right? Because anybody with thinking, reasonable common sense will ask that question. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 8. But ye shall receive power. After that the Holy Spirit is come upon you. And ye shall be witness unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the utmost parts of the earth.
And the utmost part of the earth is where?
All four corners.
All four corners, mainly over here into the Americas.
Con.
This is the central figure of all world events. All eyes are on America, Babylon the Great.
That's
Okay?
right.
All people want to come to Babylon the Great to enjoy what? That great wealth and prosperity. Okay? The whole world is watching America. You understand? Yeah, Judah.
No matter what's going down.
No matter what's going down. Like the old saying, when America coughs or America gets sick, everybody gets sick, right? Babylon the Great. All right? The old saying, oh, you go to America, you'll find city praying for gold, right? Even from a young child, you want to go to America. All right? That's the big talk. Everybody from every place across the world came to America. Back in the 1800s, all the Europeans that was over in Europe wasn't going to England. They wasn't going to Russia. Where was they coming to?
America.
America. Whether you're Italian, Irish, Polish, German, you are coming to where? The land of the home of the free and the brave. Freedom, liberty, opportunity, and all that BS to tell you.
Right.
All right? But it wasn't for us. Okay? So America is that beacon of light. Okay?
Con.
Whether you want to accept it, don't want to accept it, it's supposed to be the so-called beacon of light. Okay? Because the Most High made it that because we're here as a nation of people in exile, in captivity. That's the only reason why. When Egypt became the beacon of light, who was in Egypt? The children of Israel. We were in Egypt under the pharaohs. When Babylon under Nebuchadnezzar became the beacon of light, who was in Babylon, in the captivity of Babylon? The children of Israel. So wherever any major empire rules, that's where the children of Israel are, in captivity, serving out their punishment. And America, Babylon the Great, is the last place we're serving out our captivity. And it's going to be the great deliverance.
Con.
All right?
That's right.
So finish reading that in Acts.
Okay, I'll read it again. But ye shall receive power. After that, the Holy Spirit is come upon you. And ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria, and unto the utmost parts of the earth.
Right. And the utmost part of the earth is mainly over here. All right. It also includes Europe, okay, the Caribbean islands, America. But when you really go into it, the utmost part of the earth is mainly here in America, which is known as the fourth part. America is known as the fourth part of the earth. When you read in Revelation, the 6th chapter.
Con.
Okay. The three parts was Africa, Asia, and Europe. Those were the three parts that was established in the ancient world. Then America became the fourth part when the so-called European explorers started coming over here. But before the European explorers, you had the Canaanites that was coming over here before them. But it became finally established when the European forces under the Spanish, the French, the British, all right, finally came and established what you call the Americas. And the British were the one that cemented the final establishment of America, because the British had it the longest. And who did America get their independence from?
The British.
The British. So America became that 8 beast that came from the 7.
Con.
All right? Everything is intertwined. When you read Revelation 17, it says, the 7, the 8 beasts, which is of the 7,
Con.
which is America. The 7th beast was Great Britain, the British Empire, and America came out of that 7th beast, which became the 8th, which is America today. All right?
Con.
So let's finish reading that.
Okay, you want me to go on to 9?
Yeah, go to 9.
Okay. Acts 1 and verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight.
See, we're going back to that cloud again. How could a physical cloud receive you up? It said it received him where? Into what? Out of their sight. So that cloud was not a literal cloud. That's a dark parable. That cloud that received him was the chariot, the angelic vehicles of the Most High. All right? Go ahead.
Okay.
10.
And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven.
So while they was looking up like this in amazement, amazed what they saw, I would be amazed too. If I'm talking here with you, and all of a sudden you taking up in a chariot, I'll be amazed too, like, wow, I'll be looking up too.
God.
All right? And that was the master that was amongst them. So when he was taken up from them, they was like, wow. They were amazed at that sight. All right? So read that verse again.
Okay, verse 10. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven, as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven?
He said, why are you standing here gazing up into heaven? Because they was awestruck, amazed at what they saw. All right? Read on.
This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner.
The same way he was taken up, that's the same way he's coming back in those angelic vehicles known as the chariots. All right? Go ahead.
Shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
And that's how he's coming back, with the angelic vehicles, the chariots of the Most High. Okay? And let me hit you with something. Whenever they make movies and certain things, right? It's a predictive, projective idea that they're putting out. Remember when they showed you that movie with Will Smith, Independence Day? When they show how the chariots came, and it came, the mothership, that's all real. The producers and directors of Hollywood are top Masonic entities that work for this government. And they understand and know exactly how the return of the Mashiach is coming back. That's not a fiction. But they turn it into a fiction when they showed you little creatures, aliens, coming out of the ships. And they were able to destroy the ships. But they're not going to destroy these ships. Okay? One of the mothership that's coming is going to be a massive mothership. And I should have kept this video. It was a white woman. She had a powerful telescope. And she was doing an observation. And while she was observing, she was looking into one of the clouds that was out there. And when she used that telescope, she had some kind of what you call what's the technology you use that you could see in the darkness? You call it infrared. She had an infrared, and that telescope had an infrared. That when she looked in the clouds, she saw in the clouds was a mothership. A mothership, okay? And in that mothership had all sorts of vegetation, rooms. She said that ship was so big. It was right here in the midst, right here looking at us. Cloak in the clouds. She said that ship was so huge, it could hold 1 million people. I should have saved that tape, man. I know y'all don't believe me. Y'all said, Benjamin, you talking garbage. But when she put it up and she saw it, she said she couldn't believe it. She was so amazed. She was frightened as hell when she saw that. She couldn't believe it. She was amazed when she saw that. And she tuned in and she used that infrared. And it was right here in our atmosphere, cloaked in the clouds. And she saw inside of it. She said she nearly passed out when she saw it. She couldn't believe it. A mothership right here in the midst of us, cloaked in the midst of clouds. All right? And he said inside that mothership had all sorts of food, vegetation, green life, everything to sustain a whole entire nation. Yes, Judah. Like a Noah's Ark. And that's why, because remember the Most High said, this whole entire earth is going to be burned up. It's going to be destroyed. All right? So when the Most High takes us out of here, and he put us up in those ships, he's going to sustain us for that short time in that ship until he brings us back down. I know that's far-fetched for a lot of people. Like, that's science fiction. That's fairy tale. But it's no fairy tale. The Most High said the entire earth is going to be burned up. It's going to be a lake of fire. When John saw this, and he saw it, and he was looking down, he saw this lake of fire. This whole place is going to be a lake of fire. Did not the flood engulf the whole earth? The flood engulfed the whole earth. It was flooded. The Most High said, not this time, but by fire. He's going to burn this place up. Okay? This whole place is going to be dissolved. And the Most High have many ships out there. There's a whole lot of ships. And when she saw that, man, she was so, she probably lost her mind. She couldn't believe it. And she put it up on a video. I should have saved that video, man. I don't know why I saved it, man. And she showed you, man, the infrared of it. And you know, infrared is powerful. And that infrared pick up inside the clouds. Inside the midst of that cloud, she saw inside of it, the ship, the mothership, was right there cloaking in the midst, being disguised. You understand? That's how powerful the Most High is, man. A mothership. And Yahushua and the angels come back in one of those mothership. That's why he tells you right here. Read that verse again, Yahweh. Which one
10.
was it? 10? Yes.
And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white robes, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven.
He was taken up into heaven by the chariot. All right, go ahead.
Shall so come in like manner.
He's coming back in the same manner that he left. All right, go ahead.
As ye have seen him go into heaven.
That's the same he is coming back. And he's coming back with a lot of ships. And he's coming with that mothership to deliver us. Because remember, we're going to be beamed up and delivered out of this place. What proves that? Let's go to Revelation, the 11th chapter. We're going to be taken up out of this place. Because with all the destruction that's going to take place here, it's going to be burned up. All right? Revelation 11. And then we're going back to our current events, all right? Revelation 11, and jump down here to read the, start from the 7th verse, Revelation 11 and 7.
Revelations 11, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And when they shall have finished their testimony,
Mm-hmm.
the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them.
All right, that's NATO. That's that beast. And how do we know that? Let's go to Revelation, the 17th chapter. That beast represents NATO. All right, Revelation, the 17th chapter, and read the 14th verse.
Revelation 17 and verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb.
Who's going to make war with the Lamb? The nations here on the earth, the European forces, the European nations. All right, go ahead.
And the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest were where the whore sitteth,
Which that's America. She's the whore. Go ahead.
are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Mm-hmm.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast.
And the 10 horns that you see upon the beast, those 10 horns was known as what?
The nation.
When it first started, it was known as what? In 1949, it was known as what?
League of Nations.
Who said the League? Yeah, the League of Nations. And it had another name for it too. All right? It had another name for it too. I think it was called the EU, the European Nations or Unions. All right? Okay, go ahead.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast.
And the 10 horns which you saw upon the beast, which is NATO. All right, go ahead.
These shall hate the whore.
These gonna hate the whore. The whore is America. Go ahead.
And shall make her desolate and naked. And shall eat her flesh. And burn her with fire.
And burn her with fire. How do you burn somebody with fire? Nuclear weapons. That's how you burn them. And that's nuclear weapons going to be used. Okay? That's the final outcome of the judgment. All right? Go ahead.
For Yahweh had put in their hearts.
Who had did this? The Most High is going to put it in their hearts. Read that part again.
For Yahweh had put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast.
They're going to give their kingdom unto the beast, which is NATO. Go ahead.
Until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman which thou sawest is that great city.
And that woman that you saw is that great city, which is America. Okay? The woman that you saw is that great city, which is America. Go ahead.
Which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
Which reigneth over the kings of the earth. How does America rule over the kings of the earth?
Because we got to serve them.
Now, how does America rule over the kings of the earth? Military minded, her political power, her influence. America's influence is in all nations. All nations are influenced by America's so-called democratic way of life. Okay? Her so-called democracy and her military might. America is the only nation upon the face of the earth that has military bases in every country upon the face of the earth. China doesn't have military bases in every nation. Russia doesn't have military bases in all nations. Only America and who else? England. But America supersedes England by far. You understand? Because America came out of the mother, which is Great Britain. That's her mother. America is a daughter of England. And they do everything that England does. Remember, at one time, England was the main power running and controlling the whole entire earth. All nations, what they call third world nations, got their independence from who? From Great Britain. All the islands in the Caribbean, majority of them got their independence from who? Great Britain. Jamaica, Trinidad, Antigua, Barbados, Bahamas, St. Lucia, Dominica, St. Kitts, Nevis. All the nations in the Caribbean, majority of them got their independence from Great Britain. It's only a couple of them got theirs from France. Haiti, Guadeloupe, Martinique. Okay, then the Dutch, you had Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. But all the other nations, and then Cuba, Santo Domingo, and Puerto Rico got theirs from Spain, which are all European powers. But the vast majority of the earth got their independence from Great Britain, America, Canada. You understand? Australia is a colony of Great Britain. New Zealand. All right? So then America took on the mantle and became that power under Great Britain. And America became that superpower in 1945. Because 1945 marked when they dropped the atomic bomb and shook Japan. And everybody said, whoa! Everybody backed up when America showed her military might. And she became that military might politically, democratically. Her influence went out through all nations. Matter of fact, who rebuilt Russia? The United States. When GIs went to Russia, they saw Ford trucks in Russia. Ford trucks were being driven by Russian fighters over in Russia. They were like, what the hell is Ford trucks doing over here in Russia? Because you gotta understand, the American industrial powers over here was building up Russia and working with Russia. Who rebuilt Germany after World War II? The United States, the Marshall Program. Who rebuilt Japan after World War II? The United States. Who colonized and were building up the Philippines? The United States. Who put dictators in the Philippines? Marcos and all these people. The United States. So the United States' influence went abroad all throughout the face of the earth after they won the Second World War. Her political might, her influence was in all nations. Okay? So America is that king, is that woman that rules over the kings of the earth. Okay? Even though Russia is a superpower, America still supersedes Russia on all levels. But they say now Russia have a lot of nuclear weapons. They got the one they call Satan. It's called Satan. Satan 1 and Satan 2. Imagine that. All right? So where we were.
We finished with that.
We finished with that. So what we were before. Revelation 11. Go to Revelation 11. Showing you how we're going to be taken up out of here. All right? Revelation 11 and 7.
Revelations 11 and verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them.
That's who's going to make war against us. All right? Go ahead.
And shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
That's over here. That's here. Okay? And it also represents Israel too. All right? But this is spiritual Egypt and Sodom. And how we did spiritually as a nation. All right? Go ahead.
Where also our Lord was crucified.
Now, we know Yahushua was crucified in Jerusalem. That's where he was crucified. In Jerusalem. All right? But how was he crucified over on this side all over again?
Like Jesus.
When they put up their white Eurocentric images of him and taught lies in him. When they spread that white Eurocentric image all over the face of the earth. I don't care where you are in the face of the earth. You're going to see that white Jesus. That white Jesus in your house. Looking like he's so innocent. Okay? I remember when I was coming up, when I was growing up, it was three main images that you saw in the house. Everybody can remember those images, right? You saw Kennedy, Martin Luther King, and white Jesus. And white Jesus right there. I used to like when I was young, why they got a white Jesus up there? But you just couldn't figure it out at then. Why you got a white Jesus up there? You know, I used to wonder that thing, man. Why you got a white Jesus up there? But I never questioned and asked my mom, but it always stuck in my mind. Why they got a white Jesus up there with Kennedy and Martin Luther King? Why? Yeah, Judah. Yeah, you understand? But that was the main image that you saw. Martin Luther King, Kennedy, and white Jesus up there. But if color doesn't matter, why would you have a white Jesus all around the face of the world? All throughout South America, Europe, even in Africa, they got the white Jesus. Okay? In some of the countries in Korea, they got the white Jesus. Some parts of China. All right? Yeah, Judah.
Yeah, and the picture of the white Jesus is a you know, when you look at the word humble, they got him looking feminine.
Yeah, like he can't do no harm. He won't do no hurt. You understand? But that like I said, that's the Eurocentric image and vibration that was spread all throughout the face of the earth. Understand? And that image is still up today, man. When you go to South America, man, you can't tell them that's not Jesus. Oh, no, Jesucristo, Jesucristo. Mi salvo, mi salvo, mi salvo. That's not Jesucristo, man.
God.
That's Caesar Borgia. That image is the image of Caesar Borgia, the son of Pope Alexander VI of Rome that posed for that image. And that image was his sister, the one that looked like the woman leaning over to Christ. Yeah. That was his sister, Lucretia. That's his sister. And the guys around him is his family, a bunch of thugs, a bunch of Spanish thugs. You understand? But we have to learn that history, man. They really did a whammy on us, man. Yes, bro. Yeah.
I just want to point out Abyssinian Baptist Church, the most famous James Church
They had the image up too.
in Harlem. Yes, it's still up. I went to a funeral there in June.
Mhm.
I just happened to look up at the stained glass window.
Up there. So it's showing you
It's been there
for ages, right?
since the 20s, probably.
Check that out, man. Check it out. So showing you their influence reign over all the people of the earth. Religiously, politically, socially, militarily, in every aspect, educationally, collegiate, all right? All right? Their whole school system, their educational system, the history of white supremacy, Eurocentric supremacy reigns over the entire earth. And you can't tell me that's not true. Yes.
Yeah, that image is banned in North Korea.
They finally banned it, right? They finally banned it.
They banned that in the blue jeans.
Yeah.
They banned Moses.
Yeah. Because now the people are starting to wake up to the lies and to the evil, to what they have been taught for centuries and for decades, man. You understand? We've been really taught a lot of ram lies and beat over our head with a baseball bat with lies, man. And that thing been branded on us, man, for centuries, man. But it's time for us to shake those shackles of lies, man.
God.
You understand? Yeah, Judah.
Yeah, and the brother that brought up something about it being in the church in there, perhaps if they take that image down, they probably won't get funded no more.
They might lose the congregation too. You know? But this is 2024. There's no need for everybody to be ignorant, man. You understand? Yes.
That's what Tam was saying, you know, when they keep that up, we know for some years to deceive so many people.
Deception.
But now, everything has come to a close. So,
Right.
You know, that's
And it's coming to a close. That's why, that's why I have to go back to my subject with Trump. That's why he came and said, make America great. Because now they're starting to see that the mass of the people are starting to wake up to America's trickery, lies, deception. All the trick, all the falsehood. Just the other day, there was an American soldier in the U.S. Air Force. His name is Aaron Bushnell. Okay? You know what he did? In protest to America's involvement and collusion in supporting the state of Israel in killing Palestinians. You know what he did? He was an active U.S. soldier. His name is Aaron Bushnell. He went on the embassy, in the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. He said, what I'm about to do is something extreme that you have never seen. He said, I'm not going to be complicit to what our government is doing, what they're doing with the elites, what they're doing. I'm not going to be complicit. He poured the fuel on him.
Oh, yeah.
Poured the fuel on him, and right in front of the U.S. embassy in D.C. and lit himself on fire. And when he lit himself, he said, "Free Palestine! Free Palestine!" and burned himself up right there. And they came with extinguishers to put him out. All right, showing you in protest that even their own people are starting to realize the lies that they have been fed for centuries. I have to give it to him, even though what he did was foolish. At least he died for something, and he stood for something. He believed in what he believed in. That he's not going no more. He's not going to be complicit to what the country is doing in their name to fight wars. And he went and burned himself, man. He burned himself up right there. And that's also an indication of what's happening to America's society and what's going to happen to this society and to its rulers. It's going to be burnt up. That's indicative of what he did. It's a sign of what's to come. He burned himself up, man. Self-immolation, man. Then his last words before he died, "Free Palestine! Free Palestine!" Imagine, he's a white boy. But at least he stood for something. He died for something. You understand? Even though what he did was foolish to burn yourself up. But he said he's not going to be complicit and go along with the lies no more of what this country been feeding the people. Because this country has been feeding the people lies too long.
God.
Even the Vietnam War was a lie. How they started the Vietnam War. What they started the war in Iraq was a lie. It was based on a premise of Saddam Hussein had chemical weapons and weapons of mass destruction. And they made the people believe that lie, and they went and invaded Iraq. So everybody after that said, wait a minute, our government and country is lying to us. They're misleading us into something that we don't want. Because the elites do the hell they want to do. They don't listen to the people. It's only when you get to a point where they can't control it, then they say, okay, let's give it to what the people said. But behind the scene, the elites runs this country. It's known as an oligarchy, okay, that runs this country. Are elite family members that comes out from Europe and Great Britain that runs this country behind the scene. And they dictate the policies to America and to all the nations in the earth.
God.
Okay? So when he did, that was an indicative sign of America's downfall. And he's blaming their leaders for the problem that's taking place in the earth. Because America backs and supports the state of Israel for what they're doing, for their genocide. And all America has to do, simple and easy, is tell Israel, you're not getting no more money, no more funds, no more materials, no more war. That's all they got to do to end the conflict. But they're not going to do it because it's all based on what? White Eurocentric supremacy. That's what it's based upon. They do it to everybody else. They cut you off. They put embargoes. They put sanctions. So why you can't sanction Israel?
God.
Because they're complicit and they're supporting what they're doing. Every last one of them. Biden, Trump, I don't care who they are. Even if you're independent running, you're going to support the state of Israel too. But you notice there's only two parties that runs and wins. Democrat and Republican. Those are only two parties. You never going to have an independent party that's going to win this country's election. Never. Never. The only two parties that's running this country is the Democratic and Republicans. And they're ran and controlled by the same people. The same people.
God.
Like I told you last week, it's called an antithesis. And out of that, you have a synthesis, what you call the Hegelian dialectic. Two coins. You have the coin, the eagle, all right? On that coin, you have the eagle, right? And both represent the same people that's controlling them.
God.
It's the same money in the same pocket. Yes, Judah.
Yeah.
Come up for a second, hero.
4 years they
Come up closer, they can hear you, Judah. They can't hear you from the back.
Speak up.
4 years they give, and the next 4 years they take it back.
That's right. It's the same bird, the same bird. Okay? It's the same power. The same people that controls the Democrat Party is the same people that controls the Republican Party. That's all it is. They just play mind games with the minds of the people and make you believe that you have a say in the political theater or aspect of what goes on. But behind the scene is controlled by higher elite forces, man. By unseen spiritual forces.
God.
And when you vote, it's only an outcome to see how well you're brainwashed and you're controlled. I got to put it that way. It's the only outcome to see how well you're controlled. Now, certain voting aspect is good, as when it comes to like the small election for Senate board and stuff like that. Not Senate board, but for districts, that's very important. But when it comes to the presidential voting, that's already controlled and set up who's going to win. Believe me, trust me. You might say, no, that's not true, brother. But everything that comes down to the president, who's going to be president, is already set up and selected by the ruling elites who's going to be president.
God.
You understand? It's already set up who's going to be president. They just want you to go through the motion to see how well you're controlled and how well you're manipulated by the system.
God.
But who's going to be president? It's already selected. Remember, you only elect. Who does the selecting for the candidates? The elites that runs the system. You don't select them, you only elect them.
That's right.
So who select these people to become presidents and rulers? The people that you don't see.
God.
You understand? Remember, the system is a duplicitous system. It's ran by trickery, deception, falsehood.
Sorcery.
Okay? Sorcery. This country is ran by high level of sorcery and witchcraft that controls the minds of the people. That might be far-fetched for some people to understand. But that's how this country is run, by high sorcery. All right? Yes.
Yeah, there's a district attorney in Queens. She's Amalek.
Mm-hmm.
And when she ran for the position a few years ago, she initially lost. And it was just stated for about 2 days that she was the loser. All of a sudden, it appeared in the paper the third day there's going to be a recount.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of mistake, and they had to have a recount. That's when I knew that somebody put in the fifth
Right.
to give her the position.
Right. There's higher forces beyond
She won.
the physical forces, man. There's higher spiritual forces working behind the scene. Okay? That's why the Most High said he rules in the kingdom of men and sets up the basis of men and give it to whomsoever he will.
God.
Remember, the elites is working off of Satan, and Satan gets his orders from the Most High. Satan doesn't move unless he gets his order from the Most High. Satan works for the Most High.
God.
You understand? Satan is not doing his own operation. The scripture said even the devil believes and obeys the Most High. Only man is rebellious, but Satan is working for the Most High on the left-hand side. Yes, Yashua.
And Ephesians 6:11.
Ephesians 6:11. Principalities, forces, spiritual wickedness in high places, man.
And rest not against flesh and blood.
You wrestle not against those flesh and blood.
This is the devil.
That's right, against the wiles, tricks.
Take the D away from devil, you get evil.
That's right. That's what you wrestle against, the wiles of the devils, man. Spiritual forces working behind the scene. Okay? And all evil know evil. Evil connects with evil. Okay? But evil doesn't connect with the righteous. They fight against you. Opposing factors. That's how this system is ran. Opposing factors. The opposing factor to this system is what? The right wing. The favored and well-loved figure is its so-called Democratic or Liberal Party. So the Republican Party is supposed to be the opposing party that brings in what? Law and order. You understand? That's what they use. They use those two forces together. And Trump was supposed to be what you call the law and order opposition that they're going to use to bring in. Because they said the Democrats are soft and weak when it comes to law and order. And we have seen for time to time, the liberals are the ones that allow criminals to just do what the hell they want with their crimes. They don't really enforce criminal punishment against criminals. You understand? When a lot of crimes are being committed, right? Massive, major crimes. The liberals are the ones, no. We don't want that. We're against that. But Republicans are like, no, bring the order. But are they just? No, they're not just. They're only just when it comes to their system for their people.
That's right.
And when it's convenient for their supremacy. But when it comes to the other people, they don't show that just and love and care.
That's right.
You understand? It's only about for their perspective. That's all it's about. It's a white Eurocentric perspective of white supremacy. That's all it is. You can't get around it. All right? So let's finish reading this here. All right? Where we left off in Revelation 11.
8.
And we read 8? Okay, you read 8 again.
Okay. Revelations 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
And what was Sodom famous for? The vile acts of sodomy, homosexuality. Okay, go ahead.
Where also our Lord was crucified.
All right, go ahead.
And they of the people and kindred and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in the grave.
Because they're not physically dead, they're just spiritually dead. We're spiritually dead as a people in our graves. Okay, go ahead.
And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them.
And they've been rejoicing over us. That's all they've been doing. Continue.
And make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt in the earth.
And those two prophets are two particular men too. But I'm not going to give the name, all right? But it also represents Judah and Israel, the two kingdoms, the northern and southern kingdom. All right? Go ahead.
And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them.
No, you read the 11th verse?
Oh, Slakia. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
And that goes back to Ezekiel 37, when the Most High says he's going to raise us back up and put his spirit in us. All right? And when the Most High does that, great fear is going to fall upon all these nations here in the earth when they see the Most High raise us up to stand upon our feet. All right? Go ahead.
And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come out hither.
Come up hither.
Come up hither.
So the voice said, come up hither. All right, go ahead.
And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud.
So you see it again? It said we ascended up into heaven in a what?
In a cloud.
So is it a literal cloud that we're going to be ascended up into?
No.
No, it's going to be up into that mothership. We're going to be ascended up into that mothership. That's going to make its return when the Messiah returns back. All right? And like I said, the lady saw the mothership in the clouds cloaking. She couldn't believe it. She nearly passed out. She was like, she couldn't believe it when she saw that, man. You understand? And it was a year ago. And it was, I should have saved the video, man. I should have saved it, man. You know? And it was maybe about 10 minutes long. It was on TikTok. And she showed it. And she was explaining, it was this one night she just put up her telescope. She had this powerful telescope. And she was just out there and she was looking, and when she zoomed in, she said it was right there, right in front of your eyes where you could see, cloaked in the clouds. And when she turned on the telescope with the infrared, she just saw this whole entire ship, man. And she was so amazed when she saw it. She couldn't believe it that these things happen right in our atmosphere. You understand? And she put it up on a video, you know, and she saw that mothership, and she said it was so huge, it could hold like 1 million people, man. It had vegetation, food, everything you could think of in that mothership. You understand? So that's why it says, read that part here again, Yehuda. And he said, we have sent it up into a cloud.
And they,
read 12 again.
12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven.
See, and
in
we
a
ascended
cloud.
up to heaven in a cloud. Go ahead.
And their enemies beheld them.
And our enemies beheld us. They're going to be looking at us like, huh? Yeah, in shock. They're going to be shocked when they see that, man. All right? They're going to be shocked when they see us go up into those chariots, man.
God.
You know? And I shall really save that video, man. I don't know why I didn't save that video, man. Yeah, it's going to be, I know it's going to be hard to find it, man. You know? And when she was talking about it, man, how she saw it and how, you know, she was so amazed that to see that we think that we're the only one here in this universe right here, but not knowing we have other things right out here, right in our midst. And she said it wasn't nothing up way up in the sky. It was cloaked right there in the midst, hovering, man, cloaked in the midst of a cloud, disguised as a cloud. Imagine that, man, disguised as a cloud. You know, that's something else, man. And when she turned on that telescope with that infrared, man, what her eyes saw, I know she must be probably dropping there like, oh my God, what am I seeing? You know? But she put it on the video so nobody don't think that she was going crazy or she's insane. You know? But that's something else, man. When I saw it, I said, yeah, it's coming out. The truth is coming out, man.
Wow.
The truth is coming out, man. You know? And the scientists, NASA knows it too. NASA knows. The Senate had a big meeting about it. But they try to talk and say it's aliens. It's a bunch of gray men from our studio, 50-something over in New Mexico, Los Alamos.
Area 51.
Yeah, Area 51. Yeah, they try to put all that bull crap into it. You understand? Yes.
The thing has a telescope. I think it's called Lucifer or something. So they know to look out for it.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. Trust me, NASA is monitoring. NASA and NORAD is monitoring everything that comes out from that realm. That's why they have this satellite in outer space to monitor every event that goes on. Because when they so-called went in outer space, or when they so-called went to the moon, the astronauts that went up there, that tape it was on YouTube back years ago. The astronauts said when they went out in outer space, they said when they got there, he said he was so shocked and amazed. He said, my gosh. He said the technology that we're using is like tricycles compared to what they're using.
God.
He said what he saw, he said, my God, he couldn't believe it. That there was already the angels out there monitoring and watching them. And he said when he saw it, he recorded, he took notes of it. He said what we have is like tricycles compared to what they're using. All right? And that's the statement he made when he came back in 1969 about what they saw in outer space. All right? So they've been recording and telling about these things for a long time, but they try to suppress it to make the people believe it's aliens. So when it happens, you will think that the country is being invaded by aliens. You understand? That's the deception and that they use to deceive the people. Yeah, Yehuda.
Yeah, they said that Area 51, the saucer crashed.
Yeah.
How is it going to crash? The way them saucers move, they can't catch them.
No, that's
They'll
something
be
that...
in one spot this minute, next minute they're gone.
Right. Even the Air Force pilots said that they can't keep up with these things. They
Right.
said it could be right here next to you, watching you,
Right.
and it zips off.
That's it.
The
How's
Air
it
Force,
gonna crash?
even common pilots see the ships
Right.
riding with them, then it just zips off. And the pilot said, what the hell is that? The pilot said he even seen going along in the ocean and come back up. All right, it was this. What's his name? That wrote The Pale Horse. William Cooper. He said when he was in the Navy, that's why he wrote about it. He said while he was in the Navy, there was out at sea, and they saw something went down in the water. Zoom. Then it shot back up. So they said, no, that's probably the military doing a test.
Yeah, right.
So he said, wait a minute. So he said, they stood there again and they pull out the telescope. Then he put the telescope down. Then the rest of the men that was there said, hey, what the hell? So it went back down in the water and then it stayed upon the water for a while.
Wow.
And then it shot off. They said, no, this can't be the military doing no test or experiment. So William Cooper wrote about that too when he was in the Navy. And they killed William Cooper, the guy that wrote The Pale Horse.
Wow.
All right? They killed him, I think, just before they invaded, just before the World Trade Tower got knocked down. All right? Because he said it. He spoke about those things. And they got rid of him. But he said while he was in the Navy, part of naval intelligence, he was out on the ship. And he saw a ship, a chariot, went down into water, shot back up, went back down, then it came and hovered right above the water, then it shot off. They said, no, this can't be the Navy doing experiments. And he recorded it because he saw the lights around it. You understand? So this is not new. Even the astronauts, when they go out there, they see these things, man. But they put what? What's the term they use? To put a gag order. Don't speak on these things. All right? Yes, Judah.
Yeah, no matter what type of uniform that they put on, they could not withstand the G-forces.
The G-forces, yeah.
Yeah. To move like that.
Right. Right, because a regular plane can't move like that. And Area 51, that was something that the U.S. government was trying to experiment with. That's not something like crash. That's all part of the U.S. government mishap and failures of their technology that they was trying to improve. So they're trying to say it's a bunch of aliens that crashed in Area 51. That's a damn lie.
Right.
Okay? Yes, I what?
That's why too in all the alien movies, all the aliens look the same. They get the idea from Area 51.
Yeah.
What they look like.
Yeah, but that's what they're trying to throw you off to give you a misrepresentation of what the scripture is saying.
Right.
You understand? Because even Congress, senators that came and testified in the White House about these things, one of the senators said, yes, what we're experiencing is what's recorded in the Bible. It's called a major phenomenon of the chariots of the Bible. And he said that. And they didn't give him much play on that. But he said the things that we're seeing and the phenomena that we're seeing is written in the Bible. But they don't want to give you much play on that. They want to give you a gag order and keep it quiet. But it's not going to be it's not going to be kept quiet too long very soon, because it's going to happen right before our eyes. It's going to happen. The Most High said, we went up. We ascended up into the cloud, and our enemies beheld us. Our enemies were looking in awe, awestruck, like, my God. But the world's going to be shocked when this goes down. Because that's the only way we're going to be delivered and saved out of this great destruction. There is no way to hide or run when this destruction is going to come. The Most High said this earth is going to be on fire. The works thereof shall be burned up. It's going to be dissolved.
The reason why you're going to be shocked is they're going to be saying, look at the niggas.
Yeah. Look at the niggers. They love to use that word. The niggers are God's chosen people. But I got to play this here too, man. Let me play. I'm going to come back to Trump. Let me play this real quick. I got to play this. I want you all to listen to this here. Give me one second. Give me 1 second. Okay, listen to this here.
Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and Diaspora News Channel.
Right along with those masters.
Listen to this here.
God's people.
Listen to this.
God put in the belly of shit people in America.
Of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't
That's
miss
what we're
out.
trying to get?
Empower your
Yeah.
perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
We have Pastor John Kilpatrick, who is preaching a sermon to his congregation members, which is predominantly a sea of them folks, because the church is in the deep south, Mobile, Alabama. He is giving them a lesson on how black people should be treated and why. Take a look at this.
I think back on the African American.
Listen to this.
I think how they were taken against
Can you
their
hook it up to your speaker?
put in the belly of ships, brought over here,
Microphone.
beat, cussed. Many of them died in the guts of those ships.
If I send it to you, how it's going to be uploaded?
They were
I don't think so, right?
families
No,
over there.
I don't think
No.
so.
If you're one
Something
of
with
those
the
people
YouTube
who's got a
ain't.
problem with black people
Ain't
or
coming
whatever,
out.
you better shut your mouth.
Where's the mic?
Because
Then?
they're God's people. You better hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Shut your white mouth. I know some of you was raised in the deep south. You was raised by prejudiced people, bigoted people. You better get that out of your system. You better get it out of your system. It'll cause you to suffer. Right along with those masters. These are God's people. God knows what happened to the black race. He knows how they wound up over here. And God is going to reimburse the black people for all
Could you translate?
This pastor said, you better
Could you transmit?
Yeah, you sure?
It's here?
that these are God's
It's Bluetooth, yes.
That
Yeah.
is so right.
I don't know why it's
Now,
not.
let's look at this congregation. It is predominantly a sea of them folks.
Testing?
Yeah.
Testing?
It's done.
It's downloading. It said downloading. Let me see.
Testing? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, let me,
Testing?
He knows how they wound up over here, and God is going to reimburse.
couldn't connect. Why not? Let me see. Okay, let me see which one is here. Alright, connect. Okay, it's downloading. Give me a while there. Give me 1 second. I'll oh, okay. Oh, the speaker. Alright, yeah. Okay, let me see. Says connect.
Now play it.
Yeah, let me see.
First, the black people
Okay,
for all the
okay.
overboard.
Now, listen to this. Now listen to this.
You better. I think back on the African American people in America. I think how they were taken against their will, put in the belly of ships, brought over here. Many of them died in the guts of those ships, thrown overboard. They were pulled from families over there. If you're one of those,
AC, preaching people should be at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
We have Pastor John Kilpatrick, who is preaching a sermon to his congregation members, which is predominantly a sea of them folks, because the church is in the deep south, Mobile, Alabama. He is giving them a lesson on how black people should be treated and why. Take a look at this.
I think back on the African American people in America. I think how that they were taken against their wills, put in the belly of ships, brought over here, beat, cussed. Many of them died in the guts of those ships, thrown overboard. They were pulled from families over there. If you're one of those people, if you got problem with black people or whatever, you better shut your mouth. Because they're God's people. You better hear what I'm saying to you. You better shut your white mouth. I know some of you was raised in the deep south and you was raised by prejudiced people and bigoted people. You better get that out of your system. You better get it out of your system. It'll cause you to suffer. Right along with those masters. These are God's people. God knows what happened to the black race. He knows how they wound up over here, and God is going to reimburse the black people for all their trouble and all their life.
See? And that's he was a so you see that he was a from down in Alabama, down in the hearts of Dixie.
Let's
You
look
know?
at this congregation. It is predominantly a sea.
Right? So some of them are starting to wake up and realize and see what time it is. All right? So, but it's only the master of them still trying to hold on to it because they're like, hell no. Like Trump and his supporters, and Trump too, and all his supporters, because they're starting to see what time it is. They're starting to see it's the time of the awakening of the Most High's people to the truth. So what they're trying to do is to suppress it so it doesn't come out. But you can't stop what the Most High is going to bring out.
God.
You can't stay, but you trying to do it, you only heaping coals of fire in your head. Just let it flow. You can't stop a river when it's ready to roll down your way. I don't care what you put there. You can't stop that river from coming down. So you just got to flow with the tide, man, because the Most High is coming through with this tide, man.
God.
And he's coming with the judgment too. All right? And that's why I love to read the scripture for the scripture. So we read all this in Revelation, right? Let's go to
God, you had I think we stopped.
I like to go to Genesis 15. That's my favorite scripture, man. Genesis 15, man. Genesis 15 words after 2. Wow. Oh man, I have to do a part 2 on this because I really want to get into the political part with Trump. All right, Genesis. Go to Genesis 15, right? 15 or 13.
Genesis 15 and verse 13. And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
And the 400 years is over here. Okay, the 400 years was not in Egypt.
That's right.
Okay, we didn't spend 400 years of slaves in Egypt. There's no way you could pull that up. All right, because there's no ancient dynasty in Egypt that ruled for 400 years. Okay, the longest reigning dynasty in Egypt was the 18th dynasty that ruled for 255 years. You can't get 400 years out of a dynasty that ruled for 255 years. Okay, so we were not enslaved 400 years slaves in Egypt. We were in Egypt for 215 years. 215 years, and the other 215 years was in the land of Canaan with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, so the length of stay in Egypt was only 215 years, and out of the 215 years in Egypt, only 80 years was of slavery. All right, because Joseph ruled for 80 years. So if Joseph ruled for 80 years, there wasn't no slavery while Joseph ruled, and the slavery began after Joseph died. All right? So the 400 years that we serve the affliction is right over here in America. All right? Go ahead.
And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge.
See? And that nation whom they serve will I judge. All right? Go ahead.
And afterward shall they come out with great substance.
And afterward we're going to come out with great substance when we leave out of here. That great substance is the knowledge and understanding of the Most High, and the repentance and the deliverance that the Most High is going to bring for us.
Con.
All right? Go ahead.
And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age.
All right? Go ahead.
But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again.
Now, when you go back to ancient Egypt, we also did come out in the fourth generation. Because, like I said, the fourth generation began when Jacob had his sons in the land of Canaan until they came out of Egypt. All right? So that's a fourth generation, just like in ancient Egypt. And this is also a fourth generation over here too. All right? We're in the fourth generation of our offspring
Con.
here in America. All right? Go ahead.
For the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full.
All right. So at that time, when we went back into the land of Israel with Moses, the iniquity of the Amorites was not full yet. It wasn't complete. The iniquity of the Amorites during the time of Abraham was not complete. But when we got there with Joshua and Caleb, the iniquity of the Amorites was full. That's why the Most High said, go in and take the land and kill everything. All right? So during the time of Abraham, the iniquity of the Amorites was not to its completion. All right? So we're in the fourth generation now.
Con.
All right? And this fourth generation is going to make that be a generation that's going to leave out of here. Okay, that's second Exodus. All right? But I'm going to end the class here, but I'm going to continue this here. I didn't go into my full subject about current events, social and political events, prophetic or just mishaps. Because I wanted to go into Trump too, and the things that he's about to do and what he's planning of doing, and how he's going to shape the events of things that's going to happen. All right? So, I know a lot of people want Biden to win the election. All right? But you got to remember, all of them have an agenda. All right? And either one that gets in there is going to fulfill the agenda according to prophecies. According to prophecies. All right? But the man that's in that position has to be an evil, shrewd, unscrupulous, and vile person. All right? To fulfill these things. And nobody fits that profile more than Trump. Trump is a low-life, scrupulous, vile, cheating, lying tyrant. Okay? And he's not no God-fearing man.
God.
And the Christian right believe that he's a God-fearing. He's not a God-fearing man. He's a crook. All right? So with that, I'm going to end the class. I'm going to continue this most high willing next week. I hope everybody got something out of this. All right? And I said all praise is due to the Most High and to Hamashiach Yahushai. And I said to all Israel far and near, Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.